speaking for the McCain campaign, Nancy Pfotenhauer gave this explanation of who paid for the $150 grand worth of fancy duds.
I actually don't know who at the RNC made the decision, but it was obviously the RNC's call.
Ooh, so it was the RNC's fault. Let's just verify that with RNC Chairman Mike Duncan, you know, for accounting purposes.
We are working with the campaign. This was a coordinated expense that the campaign asked us to pay for, and we paid for that expense.
Wait, so who's to blame now? Was there really no way to pin this stupid shopping spree on the media? Or communists? Celebrities?
At several key moments in this part of the campaign, the McCain folks have played the "we make no sense and we're proud of it" card. The repetition of mindless three-word phrases that really get the crowds going, something fierce. Drill, baby, drill. Joe the plumber. Senator McCain took it to a new level today with his this weekend, with his analysis of nuclear power safety.
We talked about offshore drilling, and he said he would, quote, consider offshore drilling. We talked about nuclear power. Well, it has to be safe, environmental, blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah? Worry about radioactive fuel and hazardous nuclear waste gets blah, blah, blah? The even weirder thing is that the crowd loves it.
We talked about nuclear power. Well, it has to be safe, environmental, blah, blah, blah. And the fact is,
the crowd goes wild. From blah, blah, blah to Chernobyl, nuclear terrorism. It actually makes Drill Baby Drill seem like well-developed
member of the indicted Republicans Club, Senator Ted Stevens of Alaska, everybody. Senator Stevens was found guilty today of lying about hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of gifts and renovations for his house. We will have more on that a little later. First, though, it's time for a few underreported holy mackerel stories in today's news. Do you Twitter? A draft Army intelligence report recently posted on the web raises the possibility that Twitter, the online microblogging tool that we enjoy very much here at the Rachel Maddow Show, it could become a terrorist tool, kind of. The Army report is online at the website of the Federation of American Scientists. It looks at how mobile and web technologies could potentially be turned to nefarious ends. GPS cell phone services could be used for surveillance or for terrorist attack targeting. Voice modification software could be used to do the voice modification thing that bad guys always do in movies when they call in their ransom demands. And Twitter, how does poor little Twitter fit into all of this? Well, according to the report, quote, Twitter has also become a social activism tool for socialists, human rights groups, communists, vegetarians, anarchists, religious communities, atheists, political enthusiasts, hacktivists, and others to communicate with each other and to send messages to broader audiences. Kind of sounds like a Maddow family reunion, frankly. The Army's worry is that all of this communicating could ultimately shift towards surveillance and terrorist targeting. Because Twitter happens in real time, terrorists could use it to plan ambushes or detonate explosives. They point to the near real-time communications at the RNC, where protesters use Twitter to update one another on law enforcement activities, helping them elude police, as examples of what officials are fearing. I personally do not fear the Twitter, but we must use its awesome power only for good. And holy mackerel, we invaded Syria? U.S. officials confirmed today that U.S. Special Forces killed the head of a Syrian network that allegedly funneled fighters, weapons, and cash into Iraq. And a local also says U.S. troops grabbed two men and took them away by helicopter during a cross-border attack 4 to 5 miles across the Iraqi border inside Syria. Syria's foreign minister said the raid was an act of criminal and terrorist aggression. He warned that if there was a repeat attack on Syria, quote, we would defend our territories. You want scary? Okay. You don't want scary, but we've got it here. The U.S. is now launching military raids across the borders of Iraq into Syria and from Afghanistan into Pakistan. Sovereign countries. Is President Bush trying to start another war as some sort of grim parting gift?